Hello, sir.
Right, okay, great. So, just a moment. Right. So there we are. We were saying that the first important step is to do the ticking. Then it should be followed by updating the cash book using all entries that are in the bank statement. So once we've got these entries in the bank statement that have not been updated in the cash book, we are going to update the cash book. And after updating the cash book, whatever is not ticked in the bank statement or in the cash book, those issues, we need to deal with them. But normally, all items in the bank statement should be updated to the cash book. And then the reason why we update the cash book that way is that we can change our cash book, but we cannot change the bank statement. So the items that are not ticked in the cash book cannot be added to the bank statement. Therefore, these are the items or transactions that become reconciling items. I want that point to be very clear. The first thing is we deal with the bank. So what we are going to do is, so the first thing is we compare the bank statement and the cash book. So after the comparison, what it means, this comparison is this idea of ticking 1, 2, 1, 2. So we are just comparing. So all these that we have ticked, it means it's existing here, it's also existing there. It's existing here, then it's also existing there. So if we have got any other thing that remains, if this is the bank and this is the CB, so we expect you now to let me annotate using different colors so that it makes a lot more sense. So here we've got another transaction. And here we've got another transaction. These are different transactions that I'm entering. And here we've got another transaction. Then we've got a transaction here. So what it means is, if we are comparing the cash book and the bank statement, we are saying that we have this one, we found it here. Then we've got this one, we found it here, right? So we have done the comparison. Then we are now left with these 3 transactions here. And we know that these 3 transactions, they are not in the bank statement. Not in the bank statement. Then we've got also these transactions here. they are also not in the cash book. So the procedure is to, first of all, we must take all these transactions, these 3 transactions here, and send them into the cash book, which means we are going to take these three transactions one by one and journalize it to include it into our, this is what we call the cash journal. It means we are going to update our cash book. Because we can take what is in the bank statement to our cash book, which we have at liberty to change because it is our record. However, after doing that, for these 3 here, we cannot go to change the bank statement because it is not our record. So what we are going to do is, after taking account of this, updating in the cash book, we are then going to take these as reconciling items. I think this was Hazelite's question. Hazelite.
Yes, sir.
Right. So do you now understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do understand.
Right. Now we want to go to a question because these notes I gave you already. Hello?
Hello,
This is the question.
sir.
This is the question that I gave you. Do you remember it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. So we want to now tackle this question. So what we are going to do first is that we need to understand where these figures are coming from. These the first, you see, if we go to question number 2, we are given that Bindura Private Limited bank statement for the month of April 2022 showed a closing balance per bank of 10,140. The company's cash book showed a balance of 9,000. So what is happening here is that we have something like this. So this is the cash book, and this is the bank. Right. So as I said, the bank statement balance will always be on the credit side if it is positive. So in this case, we are told that there was a cash book balance in the bank statement of 10,140. Then we have the cash book balance of 9,000. Right. So as you can see here, it's clear that these two balances are not agreeing. So what this means, is that when we were entering transactions over the trading period, we closed our cash book, and this is the balance that we got. You remember what we call the balance CD and then the balance BD. This is the balance BD. This is the balance BD. After we enter all the transactions in our cash book in the bank column. So this is like the T account of the bank. This is the bank's T account. So now the bank was also doing the same, doing some transactions and all that during the same period. But now we are seeing that these two balances, which are supposed to agree, are not agreeing. And management is asking you, why are these two balances not agreeing? So for reasons that we have discussed, that, for example, maybe the bank has paid some interest, or maybe there are some errors, or maybe there was some money that came directly to the into the bank. So those could be some of the reasons why these two balances are not agreeing. So we would need now to find out why. And then we are given information. The first information that we are given is this one. Right. Can somebody read?
Receipts for April 30 recorded on the company's books were 12,000, but this amount does not appear on the bank statement.
Right. So we are told that there are cash receipts for 30 April recorded on the company's records. But this amount does not appear on the bank statement. So as you can see here, I've put this RI. Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can see it.
Sir.
So the RI means this is a reconciling item. Why? Because we are told that the company recorded. In other words, these are already in the cash book, which means they are already accounted for here. For us to get this balance, this money was already accounted for. Do you get it? Did you get what I'm saying here? Because it's important for you to
Yes, sir.
understand. Because what is happening is we are told that these receipts have already been captured in the bank records, but they are not in the bank. So remember what we said. We said only things that are in the bank can be updated to the cash book. We cannot update things that are in the cash book to the bank. We can't do. You see, this one, we can't do this. You understand? But we can only do this because we can't change the bank now. But if we are told that there were some transactions that were done in the cash book, but not in the bank, it means those transactions are going to be reconciling items. So next item, who is going to read next item? Let's participate.
The bank statement shows bank charges of $80, not in the cash book.
Let me ask in the group, what do you think we must do to that transaction? Hello?
Bank shows bank charges.
What must we do?
So we have to adjust our cash book.
Yes, adjust the cash book. Update the cash book. Why? Because this transaction was included in the bank. It's already here in the bank. This transaction is already in the bank, but it is not in the cash book. So what it means is, because the cash book is ours, we can change it anytime. So we are going to update the cash book. This is why you see I have written UC to update the cash book. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
So now let's go to the item number 3. Marco?
A check to Grace PV Limited recorded in the cash book as $496 was shown in the bank statement as $496. Later on, it was discovered that Grace PV Limited should have paid $568. Grace PV Limited underpaid Vindura PV Limited.
Right. What do you think we must do to that one? No? What do you think we must do to that one?
I think to
Yes.
adjust that difference between the mari yakataurwa ku-cash book minus ndo yatoisa ku-cash book kuti zvibalance.
Minus EP.
496.
Right. Marco? Colleagues? Right.
Hello.
Kuda, what do you think?
I think tonight 568 and 496. Then it also adjust.
Right. Interesting. It's very much interesting. Somebody's asking me what time is the Zoom lecture. Wasn't this message in the group?
No, like it was me say.
Oh, oh, so
It was
maybe
before the Zoom lesson.
I'm thinking it's somebody else because I've just
No,
seen
it
the
was me
message.
before this message.
Ah, okay. All right. So, okay, because I was late. Yeah, I'm in Bindura. I know sometimes we get too busy. So let me say this to you guys. I want to give an example. Let me see. I've got Mupini, Mapause, Jezelite, and Maku. Right, Maku. Kuda akakupa $20 yangu kuti uendese kubhengi. Iye akandikwereta $50. Mari obva anyora risiti ye$20. Obva arekodha mukeshbook $20. Mari iri mukeshbook yakasiyana here neiri kubhengi?
Aiwa, zvakasiyana.
Hazvina. Saka kana zvakafanana tinoreconcilerirei? Why do we reconcile if they are the same? Right, guys, can you hear this example clearly? Can you get it?
Yeah.
Right, I'm saying, okay, Desolite owes me $100. Then he gives Maku $50 on my behalf. Then Maku receipts $50 that she receives. And then she goes and bank it, that same $50. My question is, will there be a difference between the cash book and the bank?
I think yes.
How come? How so?
I think the bank already recorded $100.
No. I said Desolite owes me $100. She's simply owing me. Ane chikwereti changu $100. Obva akupa $50 kuti enda unodeposita muaccount yaDr. Farm. Obva anodeposita $50. Panoita difference here between mari yareceiver neyaisa kubank? Hapana difference. This is exactly what is happening here. You see what has happened here? There's a check that was given to Grace. A check to Grace Limited recorded in the cash book as 496 was shown in the bank statement as 496, which means that this check of 496 was deposited exactly as its value by the bank. So the bank, what we did exactly in our cash book is what the bank did. So there is no difference. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Later on, it was discovered that Grace Private Limited should have paid this. It does not affect the bank or the money that we received. It only tells us that he still owes some more money.
Okay.
So it does not affect
Okay.
the cash book and the what? And the bank balance. That's why I put the DN there. And I know you could not figure out what DN was. It simply do nothing. It simply means do nothing. You see,
Yeah.
I want you to understand this transaction because if you remember very well, what I said about these two things here, this one and this one, when we are doing bank reconciliations, we are only considering what is causing the difference between transactions that we did in our cash book and transactions that were done by the bank. But in this case, what the bank did is exactly the same with what we did. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes.
So now let's go to the next segment, the next item number 4. I want you guys to try this one. Hello, I'm waiting for you guys. Who wants to attempt? Who hasn't been talking much? I think Desolite has been going in and out. Daisy?
I think in
Yes,
what I
sir.
know.
Yes, can you comment? Item 4.
Yeah.
Huh?
And so the total amount of checks still outstanding at April.
I think she has poor network, is it? Yes, your network is not that
Yeah, my network is bad.
right, but we can hear you now. Tell us.
Okay, so my outstanding checks as at 30 April amounted to 11,600. I think as my checks I think I started a reflector bank.
Yes, yeah, but what do we do with them? These checks, it means that we wrote some checks, isn't it?
Eh,
We are paying our suppliers or whatever. So what we've done, it's just an example, like the one I said to Marku earlier on, that I give you a check, instead of you taking to the bank, then you go to Mzarabani, something like that. You understand?
Yeah.
So it means they are not reflecting in the bank. So what do we do with things that we have done, but they've not been done by the bank? I'm asking you, what should we do with them?
We cannot change the banks, so takutoera ku cash book wetu.
things that we have done, we can't change the bank.
Yes, so what do we do?
Reconcile.
We
It's a
just leave them ku cash book and reconcile.
Yes, it's a reconciling item. So we just leave it like that. And then when we start reconciling, we bring in these figures. Are we together?
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's go to item 5. Item 5. Somebody to
A
read
check
item.
was
A check was correctly written and paid by the bank for 818. The cash book reflects an entry for this check as a debit entry to account payables and as a credit to cash in bank for 908.
Right. What is wrong there?
Yeah.
cash book
Whether
reflects
it's on the
an
wrong amount.
debit.
Sarah.
O cash book wafanele hayiwa. O cash book yafanele i-credit.
The Sarah guys, that's it.
You are not
It's a
behind.
number 5.
You are not behind. Right. Issue iripo hapa. Let me explain this issue. What happened is that you can see here it says correctly written, right?
Yes.
So it means that this figure is correct in the bank. But somehow someone did post this transaction by error in our cash book. It's on the correct side because it says that a check was correctly written and paid by the bank. It means that we were going to reduce our accounts payable. So our accounts payable, these ones, it means these are people we owe. So they are usually on the credit side, right? So if we are reducing with debit, so it means the correct debit entry was supposed to be 818 for the accounts payable. And the cash book was supposed to have 818. But now there's a problem because this has been overstated. So it means that we need to reduce the amount that was paid according to our cash book. So we need to correct our cash book here. This is why I said update cash book here. You see? So what we are going to do is we are only going to change our cash book because the bank is correct. So we are going to say 818 minus, sorry, 980 minus 880. That is the figure we must debit in the cash book whilst crediting the accounts payable. That is the journal entry we must do. So we are simply adjusting the cash book. Very clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. I'm not going to finish this question with you. I want you guys who have attended this lecture to write this question clearly and give me the proper bank reconciliation. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
So let's finish the last two. The number 6, somebody to read number 6.
The bank returned a bounced check from a customer for 1,120.
A bank returned a bounced check from a customer for 1,120. So what does that mean?
I think each transaction is now a successful ikazoka bank kwenu.
So what is being affected there?
It's just the bank. True credit.
Right. Look here, what is happening is that we received checks from our clients who were paying, and then we deposited them. So in our bank account, we actually debited our cash book, this one. We actually debited this 120 here. Right. So this amount is included in this 915. already. Okay. But when we took it to the bank, it came to this side. But now the bank is telling us now that this check is this on this side, which means that these two will cancel. It means we've got no money in the bank. So what it means is we must now make an adjustment in our cash book, which must come here. You understand?
Yes.
Because we are saying now we want to reduce the cash book balance, because we had said that in this amount here, there is also this amount which is added here. But it was returned, that check, that client lied to us that they had money, they didn't have money. Do you get the idea?
Yes.
Now, okay, if you get that, then let's go to the last item. We only have 2 minutes. So please, let's be quick.
Direct deposit of $2,050 from customer who owed $2,000, not showing in the cash book. Interest of $60 had not been accrued in the books of account.
Right. So, what do you think about this one? Someone quickly.
Munhu anga ane chikweleti chedu che$2,000 akadzoka ine interest ye$60.
Yes. So what do you think that is supposed to do? This money,
Bank take, I think,
yes, Taura?
I think to know credit at 2,000 into bank statement to debit at $60.
Right. Urikuona panapa pakanzi direct deposit. Saka mari yakatopinda kubhengi. Saka hatina zvatiri kuita kubhengi, asi ndo matransactions aya atati anenge akaitwa kubhengi anofanira kuzono updatewa kucash book.
Cash book.
Yes. So ma-amounts edu atiri kuupdate is this amount which was owed plus this amount which came as interest. Do 2,060. We are supposed to debit the cash book.
Okay.
Because kunoku yakatopinda kudhara irimo mukari.
All right.
I did.
Okay.
So you guys, thank you very much for attending this lecture. We have done 45 by 2 minutes. So I want you to do this question.
Yes.
Yes, I want to see what then you tell the other guys to watch. I can only confirm that they've watched if they comment on the YouTube channel. Kuti ndizowamaka paregister.